Good morning, everyone. I'm Manaza and I work at the University of Manchester in Professor Gobble's group. And what I'm going to tell you about today is the IBISBAHub, which is a comprehensive data management platform and that is an integral part of the IBISBA 1.0 project. But before I go there, I'm not going to go into the details about why manage data, because I think Jasper in his previous presentation has very comprehensively told you about why it is important, and especially from a facility point of view or an infrastructure point of view. But just to say quickly, of course, data that you generate or that you use is your most valuable asset, and you need to invest time and energy in its management and maintenance so that you can use it in future yourself, as Jasper very rightly said, and also the rest of the community. And then, of course, with the new funding agency guidelines that these are some of the compliance requirements that we need to meet. Having said that, I will jump straight away that why data management and how are we doing it for IBISBA. In IBISBA from 1.0 point of view, of course, we have best practices for IBISBA that how to share our assets that we create, and also the how we access and store our data or any IBISBA project related information that will be created during the project. So we need a single point of entry to this wealth of information, that is the protocols, models, workflows that will be created. Then we also need to have access to a data registry where all the project assets are registered and shared. And eventually, this offers us a way to verify data. And most importantly, as experimental scientists, you know that it would be very useful if you would be able to do the real-time monitoring of your projects, as well as generating or keeping final project reports. So what do we have for this in IBISBA? This is what we call the IBISBAHub that I'm going to show you some features of in the next few slides. And it is, as I said, a data management platform. It's a comprehensive data management platform where you can store your day-to-day updates, you can store the input data that you created, or you can have your outputs, the presentations, any documentation related to the project that you're carrying out. This is the system that we have developed in the Manchester University and has been used by IBISBA so far. So what is basically an IBISBAHub? What does it do? So it is a key part of the IBISBA ecosystem, and it is designed especially to record your project progression. It helps you to manage the results of your projects. You can have your data, protocols, computational workflows, or models that you have generated or used during the progression of your project. You can build a library of data templates and processes, which will be later on required or asked for by the IBISBA consortium. It can also, the IBISBAHub can also support accessibility to your data from your local storage and then also you can record your finally fully published projects. It can complement your local data management. And in certain cases, if a local data management system is missing, it can also prove to be a data management resource. And eventually, it can also be used as a reporting resource for the final outcome of the IBISBA projects, which you need for these reports, you need for EU and S3. In a nutshell, IBISBAHub is a place to share scientific information related to your project, related to your IBISBA project. Now, what is IBISBAHub and how it facilitates data management and what it is based on? And I think Jasper already mentioned it rightly, that IBISBAHub is based on a FairDom-Seek platform, which we have developed at the University of Manchester. And FairDom-Seek is basically a data management platform which you can install locally or have hubs like that of the IBISBA that we have here. And it ensures that your data management is compliant with the FAIR principles, which are findable, your data is accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And for more information, if you want to access and know what FairDom is, please visit our website, which is fairdom.org, and you will get a lot more information there. But for now, I'll stick with the IBISBAHub. So how do you get started on this IBISBAHub? What are the prerequisites for this? Do you have to be a member, or do you have to, you can just go and straight away you start using the hub? How you start with is you go to our IBISBAHub website and you create your account on the IBISBAHub with basic minimum information, and then your account will be approved by one of our administrators, and then you are ready to create a project and use the hub. Now, how you create a project on the hub is again a very simple process. You go on the IBISBA website, you have a create button there, and you can follow the steps that are actually listed in our handbook. I will introduce the handbook in the end, but it's a very intuitive process how to create your project and add appropriate information there. The steps in the handbook are very informative, and they will guide you through how to create a project on your hub. This creating a project is basically getting a place on the IBISBA hub about your project where you can put all your information related to the project. Now, how does IBISBAHub structure your project? What we follow is, in common parlance, it is called the investigation study essay structure. And this helps you organize your project in the structure of an investigation, which is the main title or hypothesis that you're following with your investigation. And there are sub-studies or sub-experiments, sub-hypotheses that you will do to carry out your investigation. And then these essays will be related to each of these studies. These essays are actually the experiments that you will carry out to get the final results. Now, this ISA structure, it helps you to organize your project in a structured manner, making it easily accessible and reusable. Now, how does the ISA structure look on the IBISBA hub? This is an example of a project that we have carried out, and this example is on the hub. So the box that you see highlighted in green here is your investigation, which is the name of your title of your project. Then the blue things are the studies. So you carry out different tests, different hypotheses that you will carry out during the lifetime of your project to have experiments and to prove your hypothesis. And then each study is associated with assays, which are analytical measurements. They can be experiments, or they can be modeling or computational workflows. So this is how your investigation study assay structure will actually look on the IBISBA hub. Now, how do you create this ISA structure on the IBISBA hub? We provide you with multiple tools or multiple ways of creating this IBISBA hub. There is one, if your project is small and you anticipate you will not have a lot of experiments to carry out, you can do this manually, one step at a time. Or you can use the IBISBA populator tool, which we have provided, which is like an Excel sheet, and you populate it and then upload it to the hub, making your job much easier. And then there is a task tool, which is which follows a DBTL cycle. And again, together with IPOP tools, you can use it to upload or create your ISA structure on the IBISBA hub. The stepwise instructions for this step are also available on our handbook. In addition to creating your ISA structure, once you have created your investigation study assay structure, you will also need to add data files, for example, your input data, or you will also need to upload your output data that you have created that should be associated to each study. And for this, it is designed for you to upload your data files, one data file at a time, or you can also upload your operating protocols, you can upload your models and associate these data files, models, and any other workflow or any publication document to the IBISBA hub via our create button here. So now these data files you can upload them locally from your computer, or you can put in a remote URL and then upload it to the IBISBA hub, and then you can at later stages associate to the project or assay that you wish to. Again, the stepwise and detailed instructions are provided in our handbook. So the IBISBA hub is not just a place where you can register your project or upload data files or have some day-to-day information about your project progression recorded. There are more features. There are features like workflows. You can submit your workflows, and then you can push out those workflows from the hub and run them on external platforms like the Galaxy. There's also the assets of collections, which is the ability to bundle together items that are conceptually related, which may not belong to a single project, which may belong to your different projects, but you can list them together as collections and then share them together as collections with your collaborators or users. Then we also have features like the file templates. So these are templates that each facility can upload, templates can be for your input or out, how you record your input or your output data for each facility or service. And then you can use them and conform your outputs to these file templates. You can also look into the file templates that others have provided and may be useful to you and use them for your own services. So the questions that we get more often asked about IBISBA, and people are worried about that, how safe is our data on the IBISBAHub? So IBISBAHub provides you with multiple confidentiality and access rights. That means you choose who has access to your data. Once you provide or upload any kind of data, data files, input files, output files, you choose who can view your data. You can keep it as hidden or as open as you want. You can choose to show some parts and hide other parts. So in a nutshell, your data files or any information that you put on the IBISBAHub can be as open as you allow or as closed as you want. So your data is in safe hands, your information is in safe hands, and your project is in safe hands in a nutshell. Now, there's not only confidentiality at the project level. I'm just giving an example that how confidential your project or information that you put in IBISBAHub can be. There can be confidentiality at the project level. That is, for example, when you're creating a project, you can choose who can have access to your project. Some people you can assign that can only view your project, or some of them can only download. Some you can give the edit rights, and some you can give the complete manage rights. Then you can also share your projects with the person of your interest or who you want to collaborate with, share it with the project or institution, and share it with another program that is on the IBISBAHub. Now, not only do you have confidentiality at the project level, you will also have confidentiality for each data file associated to your project. So you have confidentiality at the top level, at your project level, and you also have confidentiality for each asset that you have created or registered in your on the IBISBAHub related to your projects. So your data is in absolutely safe hands, and we have designed it in such a way, this is for your peace of mind, so you can easily upload and register your data on the IBISBAHub. Now, there are also, because IBISBA has been a multi-facility projects where you are carrying out experiments in different sites, it's a distributed infrastructure, as you have been told. So you may need to share your results or your investigations or any information that you put on the IBISBAHub. You may want to share it with collaborators, and those collaborators can be within and outside of your study. So you can go, there are options to choose. For example, you take an action of manage the study, and you will get the option to share your study or your experiment with your other collaborators. Now you can also create a sharing link, which is for external visitors, and you can also set an expiration date to this. For example, you can add your friend or collaborator outside of your facility can view this data file up till this date, and then you can also revoke these permissions. So all the control lies in your hands. Then the most important thing, as we all know, that science is about sharing and making your data visible and making your data usable for the scientific community. What we provide for that is generating or assigning a digital object identifier. And so this is very important from visibility point of view. So to each file or to each project or to each data file or project files that you want to, you can assign a digital object identifier and then share it with the publication in the journal that you're publishing in, or make it accessible on the internet via this DOI. In summary, the IBISBAHub, as I have told you, it will help you with organizing your data via the ISA structure. It can help you add documentation and metadata at each level of the project. You have different levels of access and confidentiality. You have various standards and compliance. And what I'm probably missed out to mention is that you can also add various licenses the most appropriate licenses to your data, which are available to choose from the hub. You can have version control of your data, as we know that as we go along the project, we progress through various versions of results, of data, of input files, and you can have version controlling. You can have very safe ways of sharing your data within your teams, within the collaborators, or outside of your collaborators. And of course, it can help you to generate digital object identifiers, making it safe to share your data on the internet. So if you use the Ibispahab actively, a lot of your data management issues can be taken care of. And as I have been mentioning from the beginning of my presentation, that we also have the IBISPA handbook. The IBISPA handbook, it covers general information about IBISPA, outlining its scope and purpose. The handbook is very useful for facility operators and of course for users and researchers as well, especially for the facility operators, because it can help you what to do, when to do, and how to do an IBISPA job. It basically gives you a complete overview of what the IBISPA is and what rules and regulations you should be following when you're doing an IBISPA project. What are the softwares, tools, protocols that are already available and that you can use, those are also present on the IBISPA handbook. And most importantly, you have stepwise instructions on how to use the IBISBAHub. So right from the beginning to registering an account or creating an account on the IBISBAHub, to all the steps that you need to follow through to put your data or register your data on the IBISBAHub are present on our handbook, and you can easily access it through this link here. With that, I would like to thank my IBISBAHub team. Of course, our principal investigator is Carol Gobble, and Alan Williams is the developer of this wonderful IBISBAHub. And we have other colleagues, you heard from Jasper and Stefan, who make the IBISBA team. And we are always happy to help our IBISBA members and anybody who would wish to use the IBISBAHub.